so that we can help Naveen also. So your audio is having, okay, so that's good. As your audio is having some problem, so we can do the chat here like that. So one thing, Ujjwal, so you have gone through the previous two videos, right? Because those two classes are important. We have covered loops, user-defined functions, and then we have covered dictionaries, those concepts. Okay, so you can cover the last class afterwards. So that class was important in the sense that we have covered different types of loops. Loops we have already seen, but there are some of the important points in loops, and also we discussed we have gone through some of the codes, like how we can uh, do prime numbers, we can check prime numbers and those things, and break continuous statements. So there are and various things, so you can cover that. And also we have discussed about user defined functions, so how we can define a function and function arguments, so those things you can cover. Today, we'll start with data frames. So that is one of the vital part of machine learning, Python with machine learning. So everything means you can imagine it like that. So whatever models and whatever things we will do in machine learning, we'll do using data frame normally. So data frames are the vital part of machine learning. So let me share my screen. So, what are data frames? So, till now, we have gone through the inbuilt data types in Python, right? So, those were like list, then set, list, tuple, set, dictionary, and then strings, right? So, those were the inbuilt data types in Python. So then those data types we have covered, and we have seen like how we can perform different operations with those data types. So then like the next is data frame. So data frame is not an inbuilt data type. So I have given the recording, right? Okay. Okay. So these are the inbuilt list, string, then tuple, then set, and dictionary, right? And some of the derived data types. So in Python, there are many other derived data types. So these are like, uh, yeah, it is recording. So there are many other derived data types, and those five are the inbuilt data types. So today we'll start with the data type data frame. So till now, for the data types which we have discussed, apart from arrays and matrices, we have not imported any package, right? For dealing with arrays and matrices, we imported NumPy Edge NP. Okay, so in Python, there is no separate inbuilt data type for dealing with matrices. Matrices are dealt with NumPy arrays. So matrices are nothing but 2D arrays. Now for that data frame, for dealing with data frames, we need to import a package. So that is again, it is a vital package in Python. So one was NumPy, and this is known as Pandas. So Pandas is a package or library that deals with data frame, Python data frame. We generally import Pandas as PT. Right? So what is a data frame? What do we mean by a data frame? Right. So if you see a data frame, so it is pretty similar to a matrix, right? So the purpose of a data frame is to represent the data in a tabular format. Tabular means in a rectangular format, row column format, right? So when we are going to represent a data frame in a tabular format, uh, the information which we have in a tabular format, then we use data frame. So, so that we represent the data in rows and columns. So columns are generally known as features or variables, and rows are the records. So we have seen, like in Excel, we can represent the data in this manner. So the similar type of concept is also used in Python. So data frames are used for storing the data, storing whatever data we have in a tabular form. So, so there are many tutorials available for data frames. Uh, so the purpose of the data frame is to store the data in a tabular format, represent the data in a tabular format. Right. So as you can see that the concept is there in R as well. So it is not only the concept of Python only. Unlike for example tuples. So tuple is a unique concept in Python. Dictionary is a unique concept in Python. There is nothing called dictionary in R or in C, C++. There is nothing called list is there in R as well. But the the meaning of list in R is different. Yeah, you're correct, Ujjwal. So that is there in R as well. But the thing is that the meaning of list in R is different from the meaning of list in Python. So that is also like sometimes in interviews. So they ask, suppose you have worked in both R and Python, then they ask questions from list, like difference between the list in R and Python. So in R, the behavior of list. So uh, yeah. So, as I mentioned, the purpose of data frames is to store the data in a rectangular grids for easy overviewing and for performing various operations conveniently. So, uh, in that is the reason that in machine learning or data science, we store the data in a data frame. That is very common thing while performing machine learning code, that we store our data in data frames, in a rectangular form. So let us see. Have you understood the purpose of data frames? Now we will see how to create data frames. So let us see how we can create. Yeah. So matrix is also it is a 2D array, and it also stores the data in a rectangular format. But in matrix, like we can do some of the stuffs just similar in data frame in matrix as well, right? But data frame is like it is solely developed for performing machine learning tasks, so performing stuffs uh, with structured data. So when a data is that is correct. So matrix is also like sometimes we can do the operations in matrix also, whatever operations we are doing in data frame. So matrix is like it is another way of storing the data. So you can view it like that. Even like dictionary list, those are also the methods of storing the data. And similar to that, matrix is also the method of storing the data, and it also stores the data in a tabular format. But data frames, they are like you can say that they are custom designed for dealing with structured data. So by structured data, we mean there are two types of data: structured and unstructured. So when we talk about, so these are machine learning jargons, so structured, unstructured data. So when we talk about unstructured data, so that means data is properly shaped in a rectangular format. That means in a row column format. So they are like columns will be there are like well-defined records, those are rows, and well-defined variables, so those are columns. So this type of data are known as structured data. When you talk about unstructured data, that means that means like data is not properly formatted. For example, suppose you are doing some web scraping, right? So you are scraping data from Twitter or say Facebook. You are doing some kind of social activity tracking or this kind of thing you are doing. So there you perform web scraping. Then obviously you will get if you do web scraping from Twitter, then you will get the data in HTML format, and then after that, like this will be unstructured data. After that, so the next step will be to scrape the HTML records in a proper format. So we did one project, one similar project. So that is like I think I earlier mentioned in the demo session. So we did email classification with one of the clients. So they have the email records in JSON format. So JSON is another format of storing data. So that is like frequently used. So it is not part of Python, but it is a way of storing data. So the data was in JSON format, the email records. So that was unstructured data. So when we got the data, so this was like that in a particular email, uh, means the entire email is saved. So how many persons are there in the to field? How many persons are there in the CC, DCC field? And what is the body of the email? At what time email was sent? So those all records are there, but those are like in a linear format. I'll show you at some time like how the JSON data looks like. So after getting the data from the client, what was our first step? Our first step was to make the data in a structured form, because that was the unstructured data. So we had to create different types of features. So from that email data, we created features like that. How many persons are there in the to field? How many persons are there in the CC field? What is the number of words in the body of the email? Because our objective was to rate each email from 0 to 5. 0 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. Sorry, that is the other way around. 0 being the highest and 5 being the lowest. So yeah, so we'll see like how so I have dealt with unstructured data. So we'll see after, because for that we need to have some knowledge of data frames and some operations uh, which we perform with the data. After that, I'll show you like how we have dealt with uh, JSON data. So we can take, because we cannot take uh, the entire client data, but I'll show you with some real world mocked up data. With that, will see. But prior to that, we need to have some knowledge of data frame. Definitely, I'll show you because this is one of the important part. So, Ujjal, so have you got the concept of structured and unstructured data? And to your query, so from here we started this conversation. So yes, you are right. With metrics also, we can do many things, but the pandas package, it and entirely it has been created for performing operations with data frames, and data frames are solely designed for performing operations with structured data. So you can say that data frame has much more advanced functionalities compared to Python matrices, right? So if you go through the pandas data frame documentation, then you will see like it has many more functionalities. So for example, so this is the page. So data frame comes under pandas. So we generally import pandas as PD. So this is like pandas.data frame. So we generally, for creating data frame, we call this. This is a data frame is a pandas method, or you can say function, but that is not inbuilt. That's why we need to import a separate package, that is pandas. So we generally import it as pg.data frame. So this is how like we create data frame. We'll see now. But what I'm showing you is that, so you can see that there are many functionalities. Like these are the attributes. Like you can do transpose and other things. You can check if the data frame is empty or not. And then there are many methods. So methods are, as you know, those are functions uh, specifically built with respect to the data type. So here we are dealing with data frames. So these are the methods. So there are many methods, many data frame methods, as you can see. So those are all the functions. These are built for data frames. So as I told, so pandas is pandas is exclusively it has been uh, defined for performing operations with data. So many of the things can be done using data frames. So you can see that there are a lot of functions. So that is the thing. So you will not find so many methods for Python matrices, right? So that is the reason generally work with data frames. You will find you will actually find very few methods with matrices, but in data frames you can see that there are many methods. So that is the, but yes, uh, yeah. So these are these are the methods I was showing. So as and when will require will use these methods, but obviously like with other data types also, in list also we have seen there are many methods, right? So whenever you will require, like you need to do something, then you can call one of the method. I will show you like how to use the methods. So these are nothing but like after defining a data frame you can call the method. Okay, so obviously like not all of them will be covered, or not all of them may not be required, but once you know, like the important thing is that you should know how to use the method, right? So like for example in list we have seen that after defining a list we can do list dot max. So suppose the name of the list is lst, so lst dot max will give you the maximum value, lst dot min will give us the minimum value, right? So there are, we discussed in the previous sessions also, there are many similar methods for a data type. So these are data frame methods. So we'll see definitely many of them, and others like you can use whenever, because the purpose of this course is also to develop your confidence so that you can independently do the. So it is not like that most of them I have used, but there are still some of the methods I have not used till now, but if required I know that there are many methods uh, for data frame, so I can use, and I can go through the help page also, like either by shift tab in Jupyter, or directly going to this pandas documentation, and then I can use. But we need to use many of them. Okay. So with this introduction, let us see how we can create data frames. So first step is to import the package pandas. So we import it as PD. Just a moment. Importing the required library. So it is generally a good idea, like when you build your code, then import all the packages in the beginning, and whatever packages you will need later, suppose you are developing a code, then keep them in the beginning. So that, like, uh, whatever, if you suppose these are the packages I need, okay, then afterwards I need to import two other packages, then I can import it here and then go back to my current cell. So that, like, we can keep a track that all my packages are in the beginning. And whenever another thing is that whenever you input a new package, then you need to run this cell again. Yeah, so this we discussed earlier, right? So reset, so this is a magic command. So if you recall, so reset is a magic command we discussed earlier. So it resets everything. Reset, that means it clears the memory, right? So that is a magic command. So we have also seen like other commands also, like ls magic. By typing ls magic, it will show you all the magic commands, right? Who will show you like which are the variables and packages are currently there. Means whatever the things are currently there in the Python locals, right? Local memory. So reset will reset everything. And reset F, why I am giving, if I do not give F, then it will ask me every time like, do you want to reset everything, yes or no? So by F, this is a command. So by giving F, mean that don't ask me, just reset. If I do not give F, then what will happen? So it is a command like generally we used in the beginning. So if I do not give F, then what will happen? It will ask. Because definitely, because reset is a very important command. It will reset everything. It will clear everything. We need to start from scratch. So it will ask like proceed yes or no. Then we need to give. Then it will. But if I do not want to give every time this yes, then I can just give yes. And it will do the. It will not. So that is the purpose of. Now let us create. So data frames can be created in different ways. So once we have, so essentially what are data frames? These are tabular representation of the data in a raw column format. So once we have our rows and columns, we can create the data frame in different ways. But the most convenient way is to save your data in a dictionary format, and then we can create the data frame from the dictionary. So let us see this example. So let us just go through this one. So here we have four columns: name list, age list, gender list, and experience list. Suppose we are recording the data of employees, right? So here for showing you the example, I have taken only 5 records. So these are the records, right? These are the records, and these are my variables. So there are 5 records and 4 variables. So 5 rows and 4 columns. Now, uh, this is a mocked up data. This is an example data. So these are my name. These are my columns, right? So name list, age list, gender list, experience. Suppose we are recording data for different employees. Their names, age, gender, and experience. And there might be like other variables as well, right? Now, so what we did, so these are nothing but lists, right? So name list is a list, age list. So all of them are lists. If you can see that, so these are lists. These by themselves are lists. So after creating them, after storing them in a list, then we can create a data frame like this. So what is this one? This is a dictionary. This is a dictionary. So I want to create my data frame like that. Okay. So this is very important, the creation of data frame. So please see carefully. Whenever you feel any doubt, ask me. So let me first define these lists. So import this one also. Right. So now, so these are nothing but lists. So we have defined, we have saved our data in 4 lists, right? So you can see that name list has 5 names. There are 4 lists. Each of the lists contain 5 records. Age list has 5 records. Gender list has 5 records. Experience list, it has. You can see that this one experience list. You can see that it has the records, but 2 of them are none. So what is none? np.none. So so this is np.none. This is for missing value. So if suppose we do not know the experience of these 2 employees, then we can represent it as none. So this will be none value. Um, yeah. So in the fourth list, yeah. So in the fourth list, we are passing only 3 values. and giving actually we have passed 5 values only. So two of them are none. So none means you do not know what are the experiences of. So none is nothing but missing value. So we do not know what are the experiences of the last two. So we can pass it as none. Right? So none is represented as so none is there in NumPy. So it is represented like that. So it is nothing but a data type. So you can see that I have defined X as none, right? So you see the type, then so you can also give this one none. So this is a reserved word. So this is also for none type. So if you define X equal to none, then the type of the type of X will be none type. This is none. So either so you can give np dot none, and why I have given np dot none. So it is generally like we are dealing with here in this fourth list we are dealing with numbers, right? So these are experiences, so those will be number only. So this none np dot by providing np dot nine, we are our intention is to tell that we are dealing with non values which are like integers, which are numeric, but we can also give none for missing values. So now after defining this four list, these are nothing but lists, right? So let's see the types. Yes. So we are calling this from NP package. That's why we have to provide the name of the package in the beginning. And if we use none, then we do not need to call any package because this is reserved. Yes. So none this reserved word is there in this is a reserved word that is there in inbuilt Python, but none is there in NumPy. So that's why we use NP. So now after creating this list, so now after we created this list, then we can save the list in a dictionary. Means we can create a dictionary from the list. So let us create a dictionary. This raw data. So then so this is nothing but a dictionary. Hi Dinesh. Hi Dinesh. So you can see that this is nothing but a dictionary, right? So dictionary having the keys the name of the list. Yes, like it is convenient to keep it in a dictionary. So I think Dinesh is having problem. So now with that dictionary, we can create the data. Either we can directly create the dictionary here, or we, because in our case we have already created the dictionary raw data, right? Then we can use, so this is the pandas method for creating data, pg.data. So you can see the help also using shift dot tab. So here these are the arguments. So data means the data, we can pass the dictionary list, those things. Then there is something called index. So index are the names of the records, right? Then columns, then data types. So these are the arguments. So either I can give the dictionary directly here, and then we can create the data using pg.data. So this is the, so if you see, so this is my data. Uh, yeah. So we have our lists, right? Yeah. So we have saved it as raw data, right? And then we have passed it in the data. So data frame constructor needs the data in either list or dictionary or tuple format. So it can be created from lists, series, dictionaries. So we have saved it as raw data. That name either we can give, or I can directly give it in the dictionary format here. And from that dictionary, so what does it mean? So dictionary is nothing but a key value pair, right? So So dictionary is nothing but a key value pair. So uh, we can give it, we can pass it in a dictionary. Right? So what we did, we have passed this in a dictionary, and then we have created a data frame from this. It should be recorded, because there I have given you the recording, right? So it should be recorded. I think it might be in two parts, but you can join them afterwards. But it uh, should have been recorded, because there I have given the recording. So after the session, like you can see. Okay. Okay, so we are discussing about the data frame construction. So see what we have done here. So I have the list. So here I am creating data frame from my side, right? So I have my records in a list, right? In four lists. So I have passed the records as a dictionary format, right? So either we can, so here what we have done, so I have saved my records in a dictionary. Why dictionary? Because dictionary is a key value pair, so each of the list is given as a key, right? So here name list is the list, and name list, that is in the quotation, that is the key of the value, right? So we have saved it in a dictionary, because what is dictionary? Dictionary is another data type, so that is another inbuilt data type. So from that dictionary, we have created a data. So that is what we have done. So here, uh, what I was telling is that either we create a dictionary explicitly, or we can directly pass uh, uh, the list records in a dictionary. So you can create it like that also. So here we have directly created it, right? Directly given the in the dictionary format. We can create it like that also, because we have now saved the data in a dictionary in raw data, right? We can create it in this format also. So these are one one and the same thing. So that is the thing. So we have saved our data in dictionary, and then we have created a data frame from this dictionary. So got it, with what we have done so far. From here, like from defining the lists and then saving the lists in a dictionary. Yeah, so is like in the earlier session when we covered, in the last session when we covered dictionary, then we discussed. So it will, yeah. So I think you can go through the previous video, but I will tell you. So dictionary is another data type. So in dictionary, we save the values in a key value pair. So you can go through that video session, or you can discuss with Naveen also. Like there we discuss dictionary in details. So keys will give you the keys of the dictionary. So a dictionary is nothing but key value pair. So keys is a method of the dictionary. So this is a dictionary, raw data. This is a dictionary. So you might not be understanding, because you might have missed the dictionary part. So that's why. So this raw data is a dictionary. So these are the values of the dictionary. So dictionary values can be anything. Those can be lists, numbers, uh, those can be tuples. So these are the dictionary values. So anything, strings. Okay, and these are the keys. So once you create the dictionary, then dictionary is nothing but a key value pair. So these are the records of the dictionary, and these are the keys, right? So keys is a method of the dictionary. So here raw data dot keys means it will give us the keys of that dictionary. Similarly, we can give also the methods. So it will give us the values of the dictionary. So these are the values, right? So first one is key, then how dictionary is constructed, key colon value, right? Okay, so these are the values. So dictionary is a very important data type in Python. So where we in that session, in the session where we discussed about dictionary, we have seen like how we can construct dictionary. So I am talking about this session. So where we have discussed how we can create dictionary, and then like what are the stuffs we can do with the dictionary, how we can fetch records from the dictionary. So yeah, so this was the session. So like uh, this is how we can create the dictionary. So dictionary is nothing but a key value pair. So this is how we create a dictionary. Key colon value. So then we have seen like different ways of creating dictionary. Right? Then we have seen like how we can change the values in a dictionary. So everything, whatever we do with dictionary, we do with the keys. Right? So after creation of the dictionary, then we can change the values. Then we can do dictionary comprehension. Similar to list comprehension, we perform dictionary comprehension. Right? So I would suggest that you go through the dictionary concept again. So either from the video, or you can discuss with Naveen, or you can even like discuss with me also sometimes, like if you face any difficulty. So this is another data type in Python. So it's not the tab. It's simple only. So we give the values in give the records in dictionary in key value pair, key colon value. So key will be the unique identifier of each value. That is how we create the dictionary. So here, so there should not be two same keys in a dictionary. Values can repeat, but keys should be unique. Okay. So now a bit clear, Ujjwal. So what we did here, we saved the list. Okay. So we saved. There are four lists. So we saved them in a dictionary. It's a key value pair. So this was my dictionary, and then we have constructed a data frame from the dictionary. So that is what I was telling. So either we can create the dictionary uh, here itself, so in pg.dataframe, or what we can do, we can save it as a dictionary like raw data, and then we can pass raw data to create the data. Okay. So now we can see that. So this is a uh, structured record. So there are rows and columns. Right? So these are the rows and these are the columns. So once the data frame is created, then you can fetch the records. You can perform operations with the data frame. Right? So there are in fact many operations which you can perform with data frame. Which one? Which function? Yeah. So here, see, if you see the data frame, so this one is a pandas function for creating data frame, right? So if you see the help help of this one, so by using shift tab, if you see the documentation, then pg.dataframe here, it these are the function arguments. So in the last lecture we have seen, last class, how we can create our own function. So there are many inbuilt functions. So data frame is a function of pandas for creating data frames, right? So pg.data, we need to call this method like that, pg.data. So these are the function arguments. So it has, these are the arguments: data, index, columns. These are the arguments. And what are these things? These are default values. So in the last session we have discussed about default values, how we can create a function giving default values. So default values means if you do not give default values, then we cannot call the function without giving anything. But if there are default values, then we can call the function even without giving anything, right? So data frame is a function, and it has this many arguments like data, index, columns, dtype, like that. And then what are the purpose of these arguments? So this is also explained here. So data means you have to pass your data in either as a dictionary or list, how you want to pass your data from that. So here data means from that data your dictionary will be created. right? From that data, your dictionary will be created. A data frame will be created. So it can be either dictionary, list, tuples, like that. So data means the data from which your data frame is going to be created. Then there are other arguments also, but these arguments are already given default values, so we there is no need to touch them until and unless we want to perform some changes, right? So if we want to do something, then we need to give these values also. But here we have just created a data frame, so here we only pass the data, and it is there is no need to give the name data also, the argument name. We can directly pass the dictionary. Python will understand that we are passing the data. So here the function pd.dataframe. Here the function pd.dataframe creates the dictionary. So these are nothing but functions. We can even like omit that, because Python will automatically understand that you are passing the data, because data is the first argument. So it will automatically understand. So you can see that just for explaining, I have given the data, but you can directly pass the dictionary. Even here also, you can directly pass, because this and this, the cell number 24 and 26 are one and the same thing. Only thing is that in cell number 26, we have passed the dictionary by itself in the function itself. There is no harm in that. And here, for shortening the code, what we did, we first we save it as a dictionary, our data as a dictionary, and then we pass the dictionary in the data. Right? So you can see that we can omit that thing also. Yeah. So another way, like once you know the like different functions and different uh, strengths of Python, then you can do the same task differently also. So here you can use zip also, right? Zip, we know it zips, it merges, right? So if you want your data frame, then you can zip also, right? It will do one and the same thing. So here what we did, name list, age list, gender list, and experience list we already have, and we zip them, right? And we know zip is a zip is an iterator. We need to use this. So what we did, we use list zip, right? We pass this code values, but please don't get confused. Well, then, because data frame is a very important uh, construct of Python. So what we are trying to do is pretty simple. We are saving them in a list, and then in a dictionary we save them as a key value pair, and then we are creating data frame from that. Here I am explaining that there are other ways also. These are pretty similar. Once like this, like using zip. So if you have the concept of zip, it is not like any standard way of this, but once you have the concept of zip, then you can use that one also, right? Here in list zip, what we are passing the different columns as tuples, right? So you can use this one also, right? So now, okay, so now let me spend some more time on here itself. So let us see what will happen. We construct it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So what we will do, so these are like sometimes you may need to create a data frame in a different, using a different format, right? But as I told, most frequently, that is the most convenient way of using dictionary. We generally create a data frame using dictionary, right? So these are our code lists. These are like, once you know the strength of Python, so you can use it in different ways, but the most convenient way is to use a dictionary. You can save your data in a dictionary, Dictionary is nothing but a key value pair, and then from that dictionary you can create the data, right? So even from a single list also you can create the data frame like that. There is like Python data frame creation doesn't require that your data. That is what I am telling. Your data should always be a dictionary. You can create from a single list also, like that. So that will be a data frame of only one column. So this is the column, right? So this is a data frame of only one column because I have only passed named list. So if I want to create a data frame from two of them, from this name list and age list, then I can pass it and see here there is no column name because we have not given any column name. When we passed it in a dictionary, then there was column name because dictionary saves the data in in the key and value format, right? But columns we can pass explicitly. If we want column names, then we can do it like that. In this format, if we are only passing the list, then we can give the column name. So these are like there are many different ways. So here, what is columns? This is again but I will suggest that as we are learning Python now, so use dictionary. Now let us see another concept here. Okay. Now let us see this cell. Again. So Ujjwal, this dictionary construction, this part is clear, like how we can create the dictionary, and then from the dictionary how we can create the data frame. Okay. So this was our dictionary. From that dictionary, we created the data frame. So either you can give the data that argument, but Python will automatically understand that even if you do not give data equal to this, but still it will understand that. And also another thing, these are like small things, but we need to understand them. So I was talking about default values, right? So there are these are the arguments: data, index, columns, and you can see that the type, copy, right? And you can see that uh, all of them are has been given. All four of them has been given the default values none, and last one copy is given the default value. So this is known as default value. Copy equal to false. The purpose of that is that even if you call the data frame without giving any argument, then also you can see the value. You can create the data frame, right? So what I mean by that, if you recall the previous concepts, then what will be this one? If I just tell accept equal to list, then what will be this one? I can create a list, right? By giving the values. Suppose this one. Then what will be these things? I can obviously give the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the inside or whatever strings. But if I do not give anything and give an empty bracket, empty third bracket, then what will be this one? It will be an empty list, right? It will still create a list. Here both of them will still create a list, but it will be an empty list. In the same manner, if I give say this equal to this one, what it will do? It will create an empty tuple, either this or this one. So it will create an empty tuple, right? What will be this one? This will create an empty list, empty string. String is nothing but list of characters. So this will create an empty string, right? In the same manner, if we do this one except equal to ed dot, right. What it will do, it will still create a data frame that will be an empty data frame. You see that it will still create a data frame that will be an empty data frame. So that is the purpose of the, yes, that is the purpose of the default values, right. In the last session we had discussed about functions. So these are the inbuilt functions, but we have discussed about how we can create our own functions. So there we discussed about the default values, defining a function with default arguments, arguments with default values, and as well as functions with no default values. So those things, like we have defined these type of functions. Here, for example, this is a function with the arguments which are having default values, right? And this is a function, each prime, those we have seen, each prime is a function we have defined. It has one argument, but it has no default value. So we cannot call this function without giving any value, right? But this function we can call it because it has total 3 arguments, but each of these argument has default value. So if we give the default values to the arguments of a function, then even if we do not give anything, then also we can call it. Then what will happen when we call the function? When we call the function, so suppose this is the function I have defined. So this is nothing but vowel count, how we did. So here, like, I have created a function for vowel count, and I have called this function to count the vowels and consonants, like that. Once we define the function, we can use it in many ways. So that's why, like, we should, whenever we are doing some heavy and task, then it is always a good idea to save our the codes in functions. So parts of the codes in functions. Then I can call this with no values at all. Then what will happen? It has 3 arguments. Then these arguments will take the default values which are given. But this function I cannot call without giving anything, because then it will be an error, because I have not given any default value. So here I want to check, like, if a given number is a prime number. So while calling it, I always need to give a value because it has no default value. So here I explain. So here in the previous class, here I explained. So here I have given the default value true. So I can call the function. If I give the default value, then I can call the function without giving any argument. Then it will take the default value. So the thing is that we can call this data frame method without giving any value. Then what it will do? It will create an empty data, right? And type of, you can, because see, data frame is nothing but again a data type, but it is not inbuilt. It is a derived data type. So you can use uh, many of the functionalities here, many of the inbuilt functionalities here, and of course, data frame has their own functionality. So if you see the type, then it will show you the type of. So this is the type. So this is how the type will be. So type of the data frame is this one. Dinesh, please unmute your PC microphone. So this is the type. Right? It will show the type like that. Now, uh, let us see some of the important points in data frame. So, we'll delete this one. So till now, uh, I have not used the other arguments of the. So till now, we have not used any other arguments, right? Any other arguments. We have just used only the argument data while creating the data frame, right? So now let us see like what how we can use the other argument. So this data frame construction part is clear, right? We can create the data frame. We can save our data in a dictionary, and then we can create the data frame. But have you uh, have you noticed one thing? Yes, Dinesh, just try once like reconnecting. I understand it is it is difficult for you to understand because you are not able to hear the audio. So yeah, please reconnect. And also, so Ujjwal, let us give Dinesh some time to reconnect, right? Because he has joined but not able to hear anything. Will that be fine? Okay. Yeah, let us give him some time because without audio, it will be very difficult. Dinesh, please, okay, he's not able to hear. So Dinesh, please reconnect.